Alright, what's up YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Now that Wilder beats Vern, he's the heavyweight champion, okay? We can talk some boxing, okay? It's no more speculation, alright? Whether you think Deontay Wilder is still a fraud and he's not that good, he's overrated, he's hyped. He's the champion now, okay? He beats Vern, he held the WBC title, he's the champion. There's no more speculation, alright? Now we can actually have some good debates here. Now, Brian Jennings is fighting Vladimir Klitschko, alright, in April 25th. They're going to fight in Madison Square Garden. I will be there for that fight, and I will be in Vegas the following week to watch Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao fight. Now that we know, Brian Jennings, you know, I like Brian Jennings a lot, and you know, he's another American heavyweight, alright, but I don't really see him beating Klitschko, alright, and I'll do a prediction video and I'll do a breakdown. I'm sure most people don't see him beating Klitschko, alright. A lot of people don't see it because just based off his last performance against Mike Perez, which wasn't a great performance. But you gotta remember, Brian Jennings hasn't been fighting for that long. And even though he's achieved a lot, there's certain fighters that I think skill set are still much higher. He won that fight because he outworked Perez. But Perez is the better, more skilled, more experienced boxer you saw in that fight. Now he's fighting Klitschko, a guy that's even more skilled than him, bigger than him, stronger than him, okay, more experienced than him, all right, and has been a reigning heavyweight champion for years now, all right. So Brian Jennings, I don't see him winning the fight, but he's up for debate too. He's in this topic right now because we don't know who's gonna win until it happens, all right. I would love Brian Jennings to win the fight. Do I think he's gonna win? No, but I would love him to win the fight. Now, Deontay Wilder, he called out, he said he'll fight Fury, all right? He said he'll fight Klitschko. He wants to fight the both of them. He says he wants to fight Fury first, all right? I really don't know if that fight is going to happen, okay, as his first title defense, because Klitschko and Fury is the most dangerous opponents at the heavyweight division, in my opinion, okay? If I had them ordered, I have to make an order. There's Klitschko at #1. There's Fury right there under him, okay? I think Fury, Klitschko, and Wilder are all dangerous for each other, all right? Very dangerous fighters. There's other fighters that I think are very good too. You know, Povetkin is very good still. You know, there's a long list of other fighters. But those two are the most dangerous, and all three of them are all dangerous to each other. Now, if the Fury fight happens, this is what I look at it like that. This is how I view the fight, as far as if Deontay Wilder were to fight him next. Fury is taller than him and Klitschko, okay, and he moves extremely well. He's the most swift out of the three, in my opinion. You know, the most elusive out of the three, okay. Much more elusive than Deontay Wilder, right? Deontay Wilder moves well. He is pretty athletic. I know Tyson Fury doesn't have the build, the muscular build, okay, and shape of Deontay Wilder, but he moves much better than Wilder. He's much quicker, all right, much more swift than Deontay Wilder. He's much more polished as a boxer than Deontay Wilder, in my opinion, okay. Deontay Wilder is dangerous to anyone though, because of the power, the amount of power he has. I know he didn't knock out Vern, but if Vern fought a certain way throughout the fight, if he was more aggressive, if he really tried to win, you know, instead of fighting certain, you know, a certain amount of seconds per round, I think he would have got knocked out. Okay, I honestly didn't think that. I think at some points of the fight, Vern just kind of wanted to survive, you know, just wanted to stick around. Just, you know, he felt his power early. He got hurt early, and I think that changed the game. But back to Tyson Fury. Wilder is always going to be dangerous because of his reach, you know, his punching power, his punching power, knockout power. We see some new things from Wilder. We see how much he can move as well. We see that he could commit to the jab, you know. They're very dangerous fighters for each other. Wilder is still the more powerful puncher between the two, while Tyson Fury has a lot of power himself. I don't think he's as big as a puncher as Wilder or as even Stavern. You know, I think even Stavern probably hits harder than Tyson Fury. That's just my guess, all right? It's a very close matchup, okay? If the fight were to happen, just off the top, I'm just speaking off the top, like as of right now, I know Fury has a fight coming up, okay? I know Klitschko has a fight coming up. But if they were to fight right now, if it goes to decision, I can't see Tyson Fury losing to Wilder. I think he's just a better boxer. Unless there's knockdowns in the mix, I can't see Tyson Fury beating Wilder by points. He's just too fast. The combinations are too good. You know, I already explained. But I think Wilder has the better chance of knocking Fury out. All right, Fury's a good defender, but he gets clumsy. Tends to get clumsy sometimes and leaves himself open. All right, and he doesn't have the greatest chin. All right, not saying he's a bad chin, but he's not known for having a good chin. All right. Now, as far as Klitschko's concerned, Klitschko and Wilder, there's some they've had sparring. They had sparred before. Okay, so there's some kind of experience there. I think the most dangerous punch for Wilder by Klitschko is not his right hand, but that left hook of his. That left hook that gave Pulev so much trouble. All right. If you look at the performances from Klitschko, the most recent performances, I love the Wilder fight. I'm glad I enjoyed the fight. I love the fact that he beat Stavern, but I'm much more impressed with Klitschko's performance against Pulev. That was a much more impressive win, if you ask me. Okay, and even Tyson Fury's win over Derek Chisora. You know, two top fighters in the heavyweight division. Okay, those were much more impressive wins to me. Okay, Klitschko is the master at this, man. You know, yes, he doesn't have the greatest chin, and I think Wilder could knock him out easily if he were to land that right hand. But if he lands, he's fighting a guy that is a great defender, okay? You know, he's fighting a guy that has much more experience than Fury and Wilder have put together as far as his professional boxing career. This guy, you know, I don't see anyone being Vladimir Klitschko, all right? If I had to pick a winner, I would hope Wilder win that fight. But I don't think he could beat Klitschko. I don't think anyone in the heavyweight division could beat Vladimir Klitschko, all right? The fight will happen, okay, if Klitschko beats Jennings. But, you know, I don't know. You know, we got to wait and see, all right? We can talk more about that later. Like I said, as far as Jennings, I really don't know where he fits into this, because if Jennings were to beat Klitschko, let's just say he were to win, and him and Wilder did fight each other, all right? Because I think that's gonna be a fight that's gonna happen eventually, all right? You know, you have Klitschko. I mean, you have Wilder. He is a Al Heyman guy, and you got Rock Nation, Jay-Z. You know, you got Brian Jennings there now, all right? Two top American heavyweights in the world right now. You got those two. They're eventually gonna fight. How that fight will go, it's hard to really call. All right, I still do think that Jennings is still the more skilled. Okay, I think he has the better stamina still. Okay, I know he doesn't have the power, but he knows how to close the distance well. Unlike Bermain Stavern, he knows how to come forward well, and he knows how to box on the outside. Okay, he's a well-rounded fighter. All right, and he's still learning. He's still growing to be a better fighter. I really don't know how that fight will go. I can't call that one right now, but you know, it would be tough. They're all tough options. They're all tough options for Deontay Wilder right now. He has nothing easy going for him. Now, I know he wants to fight Fury and Klitschko. That's cool. He's saying all the right things in his interviews, and I believe him. I don't believe him to be a ducker at all. But what is Al Heyman gonna want him to do? That's the question. Now, if he's not gonna fight those guys, these are some of his options, okay? Especially for him to be a WBC title holder. You got Alexander Povetkin, who's a dangerous fighter as well. All right, Povetkin is. There's similarities between him and Stavern, but Povetkin is more aggressive. All right, he'll fight every minute of the round. Okay, he's better at closing the distance. Okay, I just think Povetkin's better than Stavern. I don't know if he's as durable as Stiverne though. Okay, I don't know. You know, and Povetkin does get hit a lot at times. All right, I haven't seen Povetkin. You know, I don't know. I've seen him fight more than enough. I've at least seen Povetkin fight at least 5 or 6 times. I can't really remember him fighting a taller fighter outside of Klitschko. All right, that actually used a jab and kept the distance outside of Klitschko. And then whenever he was on that inside, Klitschko leaned on him. I can't think of any other experiences like that. I can't remember who else Povetkin has fight. If you know, drop a comment. But I think Deontay Wilder, if I had to pick a winner today, I think Deontay Wilder could beat him. I think that would be not a safer fight, but it wouldn't be as tough as a Fury or a Klitschko, obviously. I think Deontay Wilder proved that he could keep someone on in his jab. And he has the power to knock Povetkin out. He definitely has the power to do it. You know, but when Povetkin gets on the inside, that's going to be an issue. You know. Another thing too, when Povetkin, you know, a lot of people were upset the way that Klitschko was clinching and holding in that fight. And, you know, I was upset too. But Povetkin didn't fight his way out of the clinches at all. And that's a problem. Not only that, but if you go back and watch the Manuel Char fight too, that Povetkin beat and won after that Klitschko fight. If you go back and watch that fight, you would notice that there was a lot of holding in that fight as well. And when they're holding, it's like Povetkin is not really, like, I think he has too much of respect. Like, you know, I think if he was like a little bit more ferocious, then he would be a better fighter, you know. But sometimes I think he has too much respect. You know, when guys lean on him, he kind of just like falls and lets the ref break them up. You know, he doesn't really fight out of the holds. You know, and that's another problem. If Deontay Wilder, he showed little signs of holding here and there with Stiverne, but he didn't do it too much. If Stiverne, if Wilder was to start holding and leaning, let's say like he works on that leading up to that fight, if they were to fight, that could be a problem as well for Povetkin. All right, I think Povetkin's a good fighter. I think he's dangerous too. But if they were to take an easier route, even though that's not really easy, I would see that fight being more possible. Who else you got in the WBC? You got Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown, I know a lot of you guys don't know who he is. Australian heavyweight. I'm not sure if he's still being promoted by Ricky Hatton. But, you know, he's a guy that's on the come up. Big power. You know, he fought James Toney, or oldest James Toney, beat him. He fought, what's his name? Towers. Who's the tall guy from Britain? I can't remember his name. But I've seen a couple of his fights, and he's pretty decent. He just hasn't really fought anyone, like none of the major top heavyweights right now. And that's a fight that's possible, you know, just as a tune-up before the Klitschko or the Fury. These are the only possibilities right now. You got him. You got Mike Perez still. I know he's coming off of the loss. I think I think he has a fight coming up, or I think a fight was rescheduled with him. You still got him out there. You know, he's still kind of high in the WBC. Who else do you have? You have, you got Carlos Takam that's coming off a loss too. I don't know if he's fought since he lost to Povetkin, but you have him too. You know, these are all fights that could be made for Deontay Wilder if he doesn't fight Fury, if he doesn't fight Klitschko. I'm sure he will want to fight either one of those two. But if Al Heyman is like, listen, we need you to hold this title as long as you can. We need to get some fights in. All right, then it's very possible he might fight one of these guys that I'm naming, okay? So anyway, there's a lot of options for Deontay Wilder right now, all right? You know, Fury has a fight coming up, and now Klitschko does. You know, Fury's fight is actually coming up soon. I believe it's in February. I'm not sure. Quote me if I'm wrong, but you know, if it is happening in February, then it's very possible for Fury and Wilder to fight next, you know, because of the timeline or whatever. It's very possible. But, you know, I'm not sure if Al Heyman will allow that, because that's a very dangerous fight, very extremely dangerous fight. And, you know, Fury definitely does deserve a title shot. He's deserved one for a while now. All right, so, oh, as far as David Haye, no, I hope David Haye doesn't get a title shot. All right, if he does come back, I hope he doesn't get the shot. I would like to see him fight. He hasn't fought in like 3 years. You know, and he backed out of the Fury fight because of injuries twice. I don't want to see that fight yet, regardless of how I think it would go. All right, so anyway, leave your comments, bring up some other fighters that I didn't mention, and make sure you subscribe. Peace.